That brings my introductory portion of the evening to a close. And now we welcome Flint's greatest living historian, Mr. Gary Flinn.
Yeah. Thank you, and this time around, I got my new book. It's called Hidden History of Flint. It's released to stores on July 3rd, and I will have the official book release party at Totem Books on Saturday, July 8th from 1 to 3 p.m. And I'll be reading a chapter from this book, and it has to do with Flint's most prolific inventor. I know his grandson, who lives in Hadley. In fact, he sent me the writings of a Flint resident who was a florist by trade, Cecil McKinnon, who turned out to be a firefighting buff, even as a small child. So I'm going to thank Kent Copeman for contributing material to this book. The chapter about Lloyd Copeman, Flint's most prolific inventor. In fact, I'll go turn the cover around, and if you can zoom in to where I have my finger, that is Lloyd Copeman himself. See if Jenny got the shot.
I did.
Okay. So I'll go to page. It's nice I can give page numbers now. Go to page.
You're going to turn it into an audio book?
Yeah. Well, there'll be an online edition, I understand, for those who have a tablet. That's through the usual online sources, through the History Press / Arcadia Publishing. And this is chapter 15 of Hidden History of Flint, about Lloyd Copeman, Flint's most prolific inventor. The most prolific inventor to call Flint his home was Lloyd Copeman, who invented, among other things, the electric stove, the flexible ice cube tray, and the automatic toaster. Copeman was born on December 28, 1881, and raised on a farm in Hadley Township, 20 miles east of Flint. He attended what is now Michigan State and studied engineering, but was expelled. When he was later offered an honorary degree, he refused to accept it. His career began as a mechanist apprentice at Baldwin Locomotive Works before he began working at electric utility companies, starting with Philadelphia Edison, then moving on to Washington Electric of Spokane, Detroit Edison, and Consumers Power. While at Washington State, he married his old school sweetheart Hazel Berger, who was also living there in 1904. It was 1906, while at Washington Electric, that he invented his first significant product, a thermostat to warn when utility transformers were about to burn out. This proved to be a useful component for the electric stove as the controller of the stove's temperature. His first patent was granted in 1901 for an instrument in cauterizing wounds during surgery. After returning to Michigan and settling in Flint, Copeman and 22 stockholders led by J. Dallas Dort founded the Copeman Electric Stove Company in 1912. While the first models looked like an old-fashioned wooden icebox, redesign gave the stove a more modern appearance by moving the oven to waist height and making the burners more convenient for the homemaker. While Copeman was an innovative inventor, he admitted he lacked the marketing skills to promote his stoves. But he found someone, George Westinghouse III, president of Westinghouse Electric Corporation and son of the famed inventor, who had the marketing skills. So in 1917, the company was sold to Westinghouse and the stove factory moved to Mansfield, Ohio. The next significant invention was also destined for the kitchen, the self-turning toaster. The design was created in 1914, but Hazel began working on it using hairpins, so she got the patent. That design became obsolete when Toastmaster introduced the pop-up toaster in 1926. Now at this point, I expect Jenny to edit in the photo taken at the Hadley Museum, a Copeman electric stove with the toaster that the Copemans came up with on top of that stove. After the sale of the stove company, Copeman was invited by Dort to join the Detroit Athletic Club, where he got to schmooze with other significant innovators such as Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, the Fisher Brothers, and the Dodges. By 1918, Copeman and Edwin W. Atwood co-founded the Copeman Laboratories Companies and a part of the old Durand Dort Carriage Company factory, where Copeman continued to do his research. Of course, that's not far from here. In 1928, Copeman had his inspiration for his most lucrative invention. While he was collecting maple sap, he noticed that slush and ice was easily flaking off his rubber boots instead of adhering to them. After recalling this experience over lunch with his patent attorney at the Detroit Athletic Club, he experimented with his idea at the DAC using rubber cups and asked DAC staffers to fill them with water and freeze them. After lunch, he found it was easier to remove the resulting ice from the cups. He designed 3 types of ice cube trays, one made completely of rubber, a rubber-coated metal tray, and one with removable cube holders. The patent was sold to General Motors, which at that time owned Frigidaire, and he earned $1 million in royalties.
Wow.
Now at this point, I would tell Jenny to edit into this video a photo showing Lloyd Copeman holding an ice cube tray and a rubber boot, showing how he came up with the flexible ice cube tray. Now back to the text. He also patented developments that made improvements to refrigerators and freezers in the 1920s and 1930s. Copeman's lubricaps, an automotive-oriented invention, were pre-filled grease cups for lubricating wheel bearings. A time saver for mechanics, the Alamite Company bought the lubricaps patent for $178,000. Now at this point of the video, Jenny would be inserting a 2-page ad for the Copeman lubricaps. That was from an old issue of the Literary Digest, which dates back to March 16, 1918. Now back to the text. A flexible clothesline Copeman made using braided rubber surgical tubing, called Flexo-line, was an aid to travelers who need to do laundry on the road. This product is still on the market. He also saw a market for a garden rake cleaner, so he formed a company that made a gadget to attach to the handle of a standard rake that pushed debris off the rake. Copeman was interested in wildlife, including birds. Around 1940, he formed Craft Products, which offered mail-order birdhouses, feeders, and suet cakes. He also developed die-cast products such as wastebaskets of various shapes, a fly swatter, and a berry box. Besides Dort, Copeman also worked closely with Charles Stewart Mott. Over the years, Copeman received over 650 patents, making him one of the most prolific inventors of the 20th century. He kept on working on projects until he died on July 5, 1956, at age 74, succumbing to cancer and diabetes. He was awarded a patent posthumously 7 months later for a moisture impervious container. He and Hazel had a son and 2 daughters. One of his granddaughters is singer Linda Ronstadt. His grandson, Kent Copeman, is president of the Hadley Township Historical Society in Lapeer County, which operates the Hadley Mill Museum, containing Lloyd Copeman memorabilia, including his electric stove and toaster. As for the stove company he founded, Westinghouse Electric sold its major appliance operations to White Consolidated Industries in 1975 and began marketing White Westinghouse appliances. White Consolidated Industries bought Frigidaire from GM in 1979. White Consolidated Industries was, in turn, acquired by the Swedish appliance maker Electrolux in 1986. So think about it. That White Westinghouse, Electrolux, Tappan, or Frigidaire electric stove in your kitchen has its roots in Flint. Electrolux also makes Kenmore stoves for Sears. A vintage Copeman electric stove is on display at the Sloan Museum. And of course, my thanks to Kent Copeman. Visit the official Lloyd Copeman website at lloydcopeman.com. And that's my piece. So, hope to see you over at Totem Books on Saturday, July 8th, when I'll do my book release party and book signing. And as I said before, I'll be signing my books with Huntington pens, and Huntington is mentioned more than once in my new book. And I thank you again.
Music from the, what was it you're going to do?
Oh yes, I have another chapter about Sherwood Forest, which was a recreation area, a rock conservation. That's its most famous place, a rock concert venue. It was also a supper club, but now nature has taken it over. But the many acts who performed at Sherwood Forest outplay music for many of those performers who have records and songs I could easily download. So during my book signing, I'll be playing music from those performers.
Cool.
Thank you again.
DJ Gary.
Hey Gary, what did you say it was Flynn Rodstadt's?
Cousin.
Yes.
Kent Copeman is a cousin of Linda Ronstadt.
Oh, wow.
We're both grandchildren of Lloyd Copeman.
The electric stove seems to be a Michigan peculiarity. It was a relative rarity where we lived in Illinois and Indiana.
Oh, really?
People I know back there, how can you have an electric stove without one? And they're right, it sucks.
Well, still people use electric stoves.
We have an electric stove and I hate it. It's an abomination and I can't grill pepper on it properly because it's not gas. But there it is. Nonetheless, Mr. Copeland, I take off my hat, see, in his honor because he's obviously a brilliant man and I'm just a humble imitation Mike Knight host.